I spend my holidays in the country, but I've grown up near the city, and the two places are really different. But why? And are these differences too great? If you're interested in my channel, please subscribe. I want to hit 5k before the year ends. So over the holidays, I'd spend a couple of weeks at a relative's house. It'd be really nice. They basically have like a 1 to 2 acre plot of land that's just amazing. It's a farm, but they focus on livestock, not food. Right? And it was pretty cool. Living in the city, one thing that you don't really appreciate, or you don't really understand, is light pollution. You know, you always have like a lamp on, or like car lights, headlights, somewhere nearby. When you're out in the country, if you look up, you'd see the most magnificent stars. You could see the Milky Way. Pretty crazy. It's really funny because on our flag there's the Southern Cross, and I didn't realize that the Southern Cross was a real thing until I saw it. It sounds really dumb, but also remember, you know, I was a little kid. When I grew older, I joined a scout group, right? Or my parents put me in a scout group, and I liked it a lot. Every weekend would be a new hike, a new camp. Mostly my parents driving me 3 hours in one direction, just so I could have a hangout. In hindsight, I feel really lucky. Because when you're in the countryside, it's like this instant disconnection from everything, you know, in the city. And I know you're saying, oh, that's what holidays are like, but no, it's different. There's noise, like maybe birds, or like creaking cicadas, everything, right? It's almost rhythmic. Nothing is built to go over each other. When I'm in the city, I'm always a little bit stressed. You can always hear a tram or a car going, or the lights ticking away. Everything has to go somewhere. And I think that's really, really tiring. I find it hard to relax in the city unless I'm doing something. And doing something, whether you like it or not, costs a lot of money, man. But again, that's the price of convenience. In the countryside, whenever we wanted basic groceries, we'd have to drive 40 minutes in a direction, 100 kilometers, you know, headlights on, full speed ahead. There's not really that much traffic, of course, but it's still a drive. And by the time you're there, you're basically stocking up in a very small store for your whole week almost. You know, anything that you need, you could probably get from a local market or a neighbor. And you probably have, you know, some things are nice. When I was there, I never really purchased anything. I spent way less money, you know, on things that looked cool because I didn't have to perform. But that being said, I was a tourist. When I spoke to other kids, you know, friends who had moved out that far, they'd bring their friends over and we'd have a nice discussion, which was really interesting. But I was always so confused. I met a lot of kids my age who looked way bigger than me, right? Who dropped out of school a couple of years before I left, graduated, and went straight into their family business. I asked them the question, what do you want to do? And they didn't really have an answer, you know? I asked them what they did, and they were like, yeah, play music. Then work. I think that's a fear of mine. Small towns can be quite terrifying, right? Everyone knows everyone. You have an awkward phase as a teenager, and I don't think you'd ever get to live it down. Whereas in this city, or, you know, suburbia, you're surrounded by so many other people. You could move a postcode down and no one would know you. It's almost isolating in a different type of way. in the countryside, I feel like people were interested in me. I don't know if that was out of obligation or just a pure curiosity, because one thing that I really noticed was this focus on themselves. That's the best way to phrase it. People weren't really worried about what other people said, but that also had like a negative impact. I am descended from Asian immigrants, and in suburbia, it sounds really weird, but I've always considered myself to be white, because I'm half white, right? I know a lot of, like, I only speak English. But in the countryside, people were like very, very white. And the conversations that I heard were kind of terrifying. I think that's just the price that you pay for isolation. A static worldview that's not very influenced by anything, by new people and new experiences. The other day, I overheard this conversation that was pretty scary. We have a recent election coming up, and then oh my god. I was in the bathroom and two guys were talking about like how like university students have never had to murder animal livestock in game, and to defend their, you know, like sheep or whatever. And they wanted to, if they saw an immigrant, they said they would take him out back and shoot them. It was really comedic timing, because they were on the urinals, like talking next to each other. This was like an RSL. I open the bathroom, I look out, and they make direct eye contact with me. One almost had this fat grin on his face, and the other one's just staring at me. I'm dumbfounded. I don't know what to say. Like, my timing, comedic timing, is impeccable. But the look in their eyes is something I can't forget. They looked at me as if I was another. I wanted to reach out in that moment and say, hey, I don't think we're that different. Right? But it felt wrong. So I just went and washed my hands, and they left and didn't wash theirs. I've met a lot of good people from the countryside, but it's always been people younger, my age, that really stand out. With the internet and train lines and, you know, high-speed railways, we have so many people coming in from everywhere. One of my friends has to wake up, drive 30 minutes to his train station, catches an hour and a half train, and then ends up at the same university that I'm at. We've met all different types of people, and it's amazing. Right? But I ask him about what he wants to do, and he's like, yeah, I don't want to stay in the country. I feel like there's a divide between the city and the country, and it isn't just the terrain. We're really all the same. It's just exposure. In the city, there's so many opportunities. You know, better healthcare, education. In the country, there's a massive amount of respect for people and for land. Maybe a little bit of peace too. It's a completely different type of lifestyle, and with that, I think there's a little loss of empathy. I wish there was more incentives to travel in or travel out, because I don't think there should be a divide. I don't think one should exist.